I remember everything, every moment. I remember the change of key. I remember when I saw the lights going red. I was like, yes, we're doing this.
Innocent Masuku stunned millions with his powerful tenor voice on Britain's Got Talent. Yet his journey after the show took unexpected and puzzling turns few saw coming. How does a rising opera star go from golden buzzer favorite to suddenly pulling out of a major role in just weeks? Behind the bright lights and applause lies a story of immense talent clashing with unseen pressures, a tale of resilience, controversy, and the harsh realities of the entertainment world that shaped Masuku's path. This is the story of what really unfolded after the curtain fell. Innocent Masuku's shocking BGT journey. Innocent Masuku's journey on Britain's Got Talent started with pure momentum. His debut performance of Caruso stunned both judges and viewers, earning praise as one of the finest opera auditions the show had ever seen. It felt like a guaranteed golden buzzer moment, but it never came. That decision immediately raised questions, leaving audiences confused about how such standout talent could be overlooked. As he advanced to the semifinals, Masuku took a bold risk with Nel Tuemani from Gladiator. The performance had all the ingredients for a defining moment, but technical issues got in the way. At times, the background music overpowered his voice, disrupting the impact. In a live competition where timing is everything, that glitch shifted how the performance was received, even if only briefly. Despite the setback, Masuku pushed through. His consistency, presence, and vocal strength carried him into the finals. There, he chose Nessun Dorma, one of opera's most demanding pieces. It was a high-risk decision, but he delivered a powerful performance that resonated with a wide audience, many of whom were experiencing opera in this way for the first time. In the end, he finished fourth. Still, the result left many questioning the outcome. How could a singer with such clear talent not secure a golden buzzer? Or the win itself? The discussion quickly expanded beyond the show, highlighting the pressures artists face in reality TV. Masuku's journey became more than a competition story. It became a reflection of how talent, timing, and circumstance don't always align in the spotlight. The most surprising thing about the show emerged when the next 3 weeks brought their developments. English National Opera announced Masuku would no longer perform as Nemorino in their upcoming production of The Elixir of Love, despite his growing popularity. The official explanation cited unforeseen circumstances, but the abrupt withdrawal raised eyebrows and added to the mystery surrounding his career's sudden turns. The path toward elite professional performance spaces had established itself as direct, but now there existed multiple obstacles that needed to be overcome. Public and media discourse reached its highest point when people started examining how reality TV fame created both advantages and challenges for artists. Some commentators saw Masuku as a symbol of immense talent burdened by the pressures of sudden celebrity, while others questioned whether the show's format and staging decisions had affected him more than anticipated. The existing controversy about Masuku determined his future decisions, while it showed people his artistic problems, which existed out of public view. The discussions about Masuku's performance on Britain's Got Talent showed how his personal story developed into a larger examination of how new performers deal with swift fame and public assessment. His story resonated widely because it embodied the conflict between raw artistry and the commercial expectations of entertainment platforms. The real reasons behind his early exit and career shifts remained elusive, but crucial to understanding what came next. Masuku demonstrated his strength through difficulties while people waited for explanations about his situation. He proved through his ongoing performances and reputation building that the initial controversy would not end his story, because it remained an important event in his life. The upcoming sections of the story will demonstrate additional information about the man who produced the voice and the actual difficulties he encountered outside the sight of television rays. Transitioning from this turbulent beginning, the next chapter of Masuku's journey takes us to the prestigious stages of London's opera scene, where new opportunities and challenges await. The London Opera Opportunity. After Britain's Got Talent, innocent Masuku seemed ready to secure his place in professional opera. His talent earned him a spot in the English National Opera Harewood Artist Program from 2022 to 2024, an important step that signaled his transition from TV exposure to serious operatic recognition. During his time there, Masuku took on a range of roles that highlighted his versatility. He performed as Leonard Merrill in The Yeoman of the Guard, impressing audiences with his vocal clarity and precision. He also appeared in Carmen as Remendado and in Gloriana, proving he could handle both supporting and nuanced roles with confidence. Each performance strengthened his reputation within one of the UK's leading opera institutions. His standout moment came with the role of Count Almaviva in The Barber of Seville. This demanding lead required both technical skill and expressive range, and Masuku delivered. His performance earned praise from critics and audiences alike, positioning him as one of the most promising young opera talents in London. This period marked a defining chapter in his career, showcasing a unique blend of South African identity and European training that set him apart on the operatic stage. The English National Opera made a surprising announcement, which disrupted his progress after his appearance in Britain's Got Talent finale. Masuku cancelled his performance as Nemorino in The Elixir of Love because of unexpected events. The suddenness of this change shocked fans and industry insiders, creating a swirl of speculation. The decision revealed how Masuku struggled to deal with both high-profile opera company demands and public expectations, which artists face. Masuku maintained a strong connection to the opera world despite facing this setback. His ongoing work with ENATNO and various productions confirmed that his career reputation remained intact while his professional standing continued to increase. Through his work with these organizations, he developed his performance abilities and acquired deeper knowledge about operatic music. His artistic identity developed through his capacity to endure sudden changes in his personal and professional life. The situation demonstrated how major opera productions face hidden difficulties that most people never observe. Young artists experience extreme pressure because rehearsal requirements, performance readiness, and public attention create demands that surpass their capacity to handle their new fame while advancing in their careers. The fast career advancement of Masuku created two conflicting situations, which brought him both professional advancement and mounting stress that only industry insiders understood. His journey represented the delicate equilibrium that exists between pursuing artistic interests and maintaining a stable career path. Masuku appears determined to overcome his current obstacles, which prevent him from achieving his goals. He used his time in London to establish connections with conductors, directors, and musicians. His network served as essential support for his mission to establish a lasting global career that would extend past his television success. In the competitive opera world, these connections often define long-term success. The English National Opera chapter showed both successful and challenging moments, but it established Masuku as a rising star who possesses unique talent from his mixed heritage and sophisticated education. The traditional opera requirements combined with his personal vocal style and cultural traditions form the foundation for his artistic journey to tell his life story from its inception. Masuku's story cannot be told without understanding the South African roots and rigorous training that shaped his voice and artistic spirit. South African roots and training. Innocent. Masuku's remarkable voice traces its origins to the small town of Mpumalanga in South Africa. Growing up in an ordinary environment, his natural vocal gift stood out early, drawing attention from family and community alike. Unlike many classical singers who start in well-established systems, Masuku's beginnings were humble but marked by a clear passion for music. This foundation set the tone for his dedication to professional growth. His decision to pursue formal musical education led him to Tshwane University of Technology in Pretoria, a respected institution known for its arts programs. Here, Masuku began serious studies in vocal technique and was guided toward opera, a genre not widely popular in his home country. This choice was both courageous and defining. It meant embracing a demanding art form that required technical precision and emotional depth, far from the musical traditions dominating local culture. Early in his career, Masuku gained valuable experience through the Cape Town Opera's Young Artist program, where he trained with seasoned professionals and performed on authentic operatic stages. His initial major role was as the Crabman in Porgy and Bess, not a leading part, but an important step for building confidence and stage presence. For a young South African singer, simply appearing on such a platform signaled potential and earned respect within the opera community. Masuku's journey gained momentum through success in national music competitions. In 2019, he received the Merit Award at South Africa's SAMRO competition, one of the country's key contests for emerging vocalists. Alongside this recognition came numerous scholarships from esteemed organizations such as the Drake Kaleha Trust, the Tillet Trust, and the Oppenheimer Scholarship. These awards were more than financial support. They provided validation and access to critical training and networking opportunities. With these resources, Masuku left the United Kingdom, aiming to elevate his craft on the global stage. He enrolled at the Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London, a premier conservatoire with a strong legacy of producing acclaimed opera singers. The transition to such a competitive and culturally rich environment accelerated his development and exposed him to world-class instruction and performance experiences. It was here that his voice matured into the distinct fusion of African warmth and European technique that defines him. Whilst in London, Masuku openly acknowledged his gratitude for the scholarships and mentorship that helped him navigate this new chapter. His journey symbolized more than personal achievement. It reflected growing recognition of South African talent in the classical music world. Articles in major music journals praised how he infused the London opera scene with a unique energy and cultural depth, making familiar works feel fresh and vibrant. The complexities of his background and training laid the groundwork for the next stages, his career's high points, and the challenges that would test his resilience on international stages. Career highlights and challenges. Innocent Masuku's rise in opera has been defined by both standout performances and quiet struggles behind the scenes. After joining the English National Opera, he quickly built a reputation as one of the most promising young tenors of his generation. Taking on major roles like Count Almaviva in The Barber of Seville, he impressed critics with a rare mix of vocal control and emotional depth. His performances didn't just follow tradition, they brought a fresh, modern energy that made classical works feel alive again. What set Masuku apart early on was his versatility. He moved between styles with ease, from the structured demands of the Yeoman of the Guard to the expressive intensity of Carmen. Each role showed a different side of his artistry, proving he wasn't limited to one type of performance. For many in the industry, he became a rising figure who could bridge classical opera with a wider, more contemporary audience. But as his profile grew, so did the pressure. Balancing expectations from major opera companies while carrying the public attention from Britain's Got Talent created a demanding environment. One moment that raised questions was his sudden withdrawal from the role of Nemorino in The Elixir of Love. Officially described as due to unforeseen circumstances, the abrupt change hinted at deeper challenges that often remain unseen in a young artist's career. The media coverage created additional difficulties because it generated more complicated situations. Masuku received acclaim as a breakthrough artist because he introduced South African opera to the international stage. The show business environment created by reality television brought about requirements that proved impossible to fulfill. The combination of positive feedback and critical examination required him to control his artistic development while maintaining his public image. Masuku demonstrated his ability to embrace uncertainty about his upcoming performances. He chose to sing Nelle Tue Mani from Gladiator at BGT because he wanted to combine operatic music with mainstream entertainment. The performance brought in new listeners who would not have discovered classical music through other means. His method of presentation showed his main objective, which involved making opera music available to all people while maintaining its traditional elements. He gained recognition as a performer throughout Europe because more people started to know him. Critics often pointed to the uniqueness of his voice, which combined African energy with European training to create new interpretations of familiar musical pieces. His performances exceeded audience expectations by creating new standards for performance. The achievement required continuous commitment to maintain success. The South African artist needed to develop multiple skills, which included discipline and resilience, to establish himself in the European opera market. The journey demonstrates that talent alone does not create success. The ability to withstand pressure and develop new skills creates permanent achievement. The story of Masuku illustrates his journey from fast success to overcoming obstacles in his career. The artist's journey displays both the positive aspects and the actual challenges that come with public recognition. The tension between Masuku's public acclaim and personal challenges hinted at a deeper story of how fame and reality TV exposure could impact an artist's trajectory, a dynamic that would come sharply into focus in the next chapter. Post-BGT career and controversies. After Britain's Got Talent launched innocent Masuku into global recognition, his career quickly became a mix of admiration and controversy. The exposure opened doors, but it also brought intense scrutiny. Media narratives began to frame him not just as a rising opera star, but as an example of how reality TV can shape and sometimes complicate an artist's path. Industry voices weighed in. Paul Potts, who understood the journey firsthand, acknowledged Masuku's undeniable talent, but questioned how the show may have influenced his performance style. That criticism hinted at a deeper issue, whether talent shows elevate artists or quietly limit their creative freedom. It sparked broader discussions about authenticity versus entertainment. The British press amplified this tension, pointing out the emotional weight of overnight fame. Masuku's experience became a clear reminder that while shows like BGT can create stars, they also place them under immense pressure. For many viewers, his journey reflected the hidden cost of sudden success. He was still widely described as an opera star in the making because people maintained that view of him. His resilience stood out, especially after technical setbacks during live performances. He returned to his work with greater strength because his dedication to his craft remained intact throughout the entire process. He reached a turning point when he delivered his rendition of Nessun Dorma during the final. The decision represented a courageous selection because it included both high technical requirements and deeply felt emotional content. The approach succeeded, His performance reached audiences who rarely watch opera because he demonstrated his ability to connect different musical traditions with classical music. His career after the show turned into a struggle between two conflicting forces. His priority stood in protecting the authentic nature of opera. The public image of him developed through his participation in reality television shows. Some people considered him to be an artist who challenged artistic restrictions, while others doubted the methods that led to his success. Back home in South Africa, however, the narrative was clearer. Masuku became a source of pride, a symbol of talent, resilience, and cultural representation on a global stage. The truth about his journey demonstrates that talent creates opportunities, but people need mental resilience and strong identities to succeed in handling public recognition. Masuku's evolving story sets the stage for an exploration of his future ambitions, where hope, growth, and a deep commitment to his roots offer a promising horizon. Future directions and legacy. Innocent Masuku's journey is far from over. After the highs and challenges of global exposure, he now stands at a turning point, one shaped by purpose, identity, and a clearer vision of the artist he wants to become. His recent 2025 release, Nel Tue Mani, Now We Are Free, recorded with the Budapest Scoring Orchestra, signals a bold step forward. It reflects his mission to bring opera into a more modern space, reaching audiences beyond traditional boundaries. Looking ahead, his debut album, expected in 2026, represents something deeper. Masuku plans to blend classical opera with South African influences, merging European training with the rhythms and spirit of his homeland. This isn't just music, it's a statement of identity, aiming to reshape how opera is experienced and understood. The South African tour, which he has scheduled, shows his dedication to making art accessible to all people. He wants to bring opera to small communities that do not receive live performances. The organization wants to create inspiration through its outreach programs, which will establish connections while performing community service. Masuku works to support upcoming artists through his activities, which extend beyond his stage performances. He uses mentoring and training with cultural programs to show his personal life experiences. Through his work activities, he creates career opportunities that will benefit others in his professional field. His online presence continues to expand through his various activities. Direct fan connections together with process sharing creates a new connection point, which brings opera closer to modern audiences. Masuku will be remembered for his vocal talent, but his true legacy will exist. The connections he establishes through his work will link different cultures and generations while creating new pathways for future opera development. Innocent Masuku's story is one of astounding talent, unexpected challenges, and a steadfast commitment to both his art and heritage. From the highs of Britain's Got Talent to embracing his roots and future ambitions, his journey reminds us that true artistry evolves through resilience and vision. If you found this story inspiring, please like and subscribe to join us for more deep dives into remarkable journeys in music and beyond. And don't miss the next story waiting on your screen, because it reveals another side of talent the spotlight didn't show.